Great. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started here at 7:05. Thanks for being patient with us while we get everything set up here and ready to go. Yeah, thanks so much. Wow, I feel like this is totally blocking my view here. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. I think it's really great to have you all here today. As I know some of you probably saw, either with our newsletter or heard, this is a really important day for us because it's our yearly board elections. So I think from a content standpoint, no guest speakers today, fairly procedural as we get going, focusing here on the board elections, and then we'll go through kind of our regular course of action here for each of the current board member from an update standpoint. So first and foremost, we'll go ahead and cover off on some old business, and then I will dive into all things elections and explain a bit more about that. So from an old business standpoint, we are looking to approve the September general meeting minutes. So for those in the room, we had a paper copy over there, and then for those online, we sent out a digital copy with the newsletter that was sent out last week. So with that, hopefully everybody had a chance to review those minutes. So I'm going to see if we have a motion to approve the minutes from the board. Okay, yep, motion there. We have a second. Okay, Austin seconds. So then if anybody has any objections to approving the minutes as is, please speak up now. Otherwise, we will get a unanimous approval. Great. I'm going to take that as unanimous. So thank you. Thanks for getting through that. Great. So again, back to what I was speaking to. So from a new business standpoint, yes, today is our election. So within our board, within the SJNA bylaws, we conduct elections once a year, and I believe that also is in congruence with the ONI standards within the city. And so what that means is it's really an opportunity for us as a board to also decide with our personal lives and et cetera, whether or not we want to kind of run throughout the next year, but also it is an opportunity as well for individuals like you all or on Zoom, anybody that is kind of interested to get involved. And so I was just going to give, because I see some new faces here and online, just give like a quick little synopsis of like what even is a board member, what do we do, that sort of thing. So, so for those not aware, we are all a collective group of unpaid volunteers. Many of us, including myself, have a full-time job on the side. We do this at our free time. And what does that entail? So within our board, we have a makeup of a variety of different board members. And so we have 4 required board member positions. Those are chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary. Going off the top of my head, and I think that is correct. And then outside of that, we have a collection of other board members, such as safety and livability, outreach, to a variety of land use, to a variety of at-large members. And so what it means to be an at-large member is really that's kind of open-ended. So you can pretty much focus on anything that you would like that is, impacting the community or something that is of importance to you. So in the past, some at-large members that have been focusing on specific things would be an example of that might be someone who maybe leads solve cleanups, someone who maybe focuses on public art and applying for grants, something of that sort. We've had individuals in the past few years that have focused on a specific event. Again, applying for a grant, doing a community event. Anything to water and air quality, if that's important to some of you, for instance, for me, I'm interested in transit and different ways of accessing transit, I think, for our community members. So very much open-ended. What I would say, I think the only stipulation there is, obviously, we wouldn't want anything that would have some sort of conflict of interest or vested interest if you had a business that were trying to, work on something that maybe was going to financially benefit you or someone along those lines. So pretty much open-ended as far as, hey, I really like to focus on this in my community, or this one thing is really important to me. That's really where we're at as a board, and really kind of taking that, working on that behind the scenes, and then having that regular connection point within you all, within the community, once a month, and or as we see fit moving forward. So I think that's a rough outline of what it entails to be on the board. The other thing I will mention, is RJ reminded me here about the time commitment. So again, we are a collection of unpaid volunteers doing this in our free time. And so you might wonder, like, hey, what is the time commitment? So essentially, the required pieces would be, we have 2 meetings every month, this meeting and a board meeting. Board meeting is on Zoom. And then outside of that, so those are both an 1.5 hour meetings, so 3 hours. And then outside of that, we look at about at minimum 1 additional hour a month of work. Now, obviously, you can go above that, or totally understand that things do come up throughout the process, but really that's our only ask. So essentially, if you show up to 2 meetings and then maybe spend an hour out of your month focusing on that one piece you're really looking at, that's really all we ask. And then what you would be asked to do at a meeting like this, for those that maybe haven't been, or it's been a little bit, is once a month. Right now we have this general meeting every second Monday, and we go through from a chair update standpoint. We might have a guest speaker that we can all kind of work together as a board to say, hey, there's so-and-so over here doing really cool things, let's get them in as a guest speaker. And then outside of that, we would go down the list, and then you would provide certain updates, I think, for your special piece that you're focusing on. So maybe that's an update on safety, livability, land use, whatever, right? I think at large is really open-ended from that standpoint. So I think that's a bit more kind of outlining it. Oh, I guess I will, just because I know Mary's in the room here, but we do have connection points here within North Portland, within the rest of the North Portland Neighborhood Associations. So I think that's a really cool opportunity as well, is not only are we, a fairly big community here in St. John's, actually, comparatively to other neighborhoods in the city of Portland, but we do have that connection point in with North Portland Neighborhood Services. So every so often we might get together as a executive board with Mary and our other frontline folks for other neighborhoods, and so maybe there's something impacting all of North Portland as a whole, like for instance the interstate bridge replacement. Maybe one is an example that I think will definitely impact Kenton, Hayden Island, etc. But I think, honestly, anyone in Portland is going to be impacted by that in some way or another. So that's just like one example. And then I think too, there's some really cool opportunities if you all are interested in the civic engagement side of things too. But Mary is a great conduit connecting directly into city services. So if we're like, just making it up, if I'm like, hey, the garbage can at Pier Park is damaged or something, maybe I can be like, hey, Mary, who at the parks would work on something like this? So we have those direct lines that we can connect in with city services. We can meet and discuss to some extent with city commissioners. We've had a proposal that we've been really focusing on thanks to Juan and a lot of his efforts here with Frog Ferry, which is additional added transit to the neighborhood, but advocating with the likes of TriMet, City Council, PBOT, right, et cetera. So there are some connection points there that I think I really appreciate, how there's additional opportunity to connect in with those pieces, maybe more so than I would as just an individual living in St. John's. So those are just some of the pieces there. I do really think that, since we are a collective of volunteers, we do have some natural progression as the year goes through and throughout the years. But I think the one thing that's really important to think through is like St. John's and SJNA, has been around for decades. And so before any of us were on the board, and we'll be around very much longer, hopefully after we're all no longer on the board, potentially. So I think it's a really interesting thing too about like connecting in and tying into your community and like how important certain institutions may or may not be as far as being a collection of individuals that can represent and advocate for the community that we all love and live in and spend our time. So that's my little short soapbox speech on some things I love about being a board member. And so I think what we're going to do here from an election standpoint, we have, for folks online, RJ here is my little producer here working the scene, behind the scenes here. He's going to be putting a poll, a Zoom poll in the chat for everybody to vote. And then for everybody in the room here, we have some paper ballots that we would love for you, as long as you're eligible to vote, to come and grab and be able to fill out. And so that's one other piece I want to speak to, just very briefly, eligibility. So within our bylaws, anybody that is a member of SJNA is eligible to vote. And what does a membership mean? That means you're here right now in this moment, either online or in person. You either live, rent or own, or houseless, or however, in the area of St. John's. You either own a business or property, or you work in St. John's. All of those would be, you would be considered a member. And then, according to our bylaws as well, anyone who lives in Cathedral Park is also eligible to be a member of SJNA. Just to clarify that. So what we would just ask is, it is an honor system, so please just be respectful from that standpoint. But if you are an eligible member and would like to vote, we'll get you up here in just a minute to grab the ballot. And then again, that goes for people online. Again, it's an honor system. So as long as you are eligible, based on what I just said, you're eligible to vote. So from the election standpoint, we have this printed ballot. I printed everybody's names on there that we discussed with the board that was planning on running again for election. And the one thing that we discussed as a board as well this year that we're going to do a little different is everybody that is looking to run, we're going to give just a few minutes to come up to the mic and just maybe give some things that they're interested in focusing on, or maybe a little bit about themselves, a completely open-ended piece. So for anybody that is interested in running that isn't already communicated to us, or as a previous board, there's a lot of room here for what we're going to just call the write-in vote. So anybody here and online is eligible to vote, as long as you are with that membership eligibility that I just spoke of. So the one thing that I think we're going to do is, for the folks online, if you're going to nominate someone, and you can nominate yourself, but if you want to nominate somebody to run, please go ahead and send a direct message to, what's the username on that?
St. John's Neighborhood Association.
St. John's Neighborhood Association. And then for anybody in person that was looking to run, let's just take 5, and why don't you come up here and let us know, let RJ know your name, and then we'll get it written down on the ballot here, and then we'll start with a little introductions. So we'll check back in 5. It's 7:19, so 7:25 we'll check back in. Cool.
Okay. Also, if you have any questions about the board or anything that would inform a decision of
one last thing here. One last piece of clarification. Sorry, this is an important piece. I know it's complicated, and hopefully I'm not boring you all. With our elections, we run for board position. So by that mean, we would say, I'm Patrick, I'm running for a board position for the 23/24 year, if you will. And we have a special board meeting on Wednesday, the 18th. So this Wednesday, where we will nominate what position we will be running for. So I'm currently chair within the 22/23 season, if you will, and I'm running as a board member, and then we'll discuss roles on that Wednesday. So again, you don't have to commit, say, hey, I'm gonna run for chair, right? You can totally, if you're interested, say, hey, I'm interested in getting more involved, I'd like to run, and we can discuss further what that would entail kind of on that Wednesday. So anyway, we'll check back in here in about 5 minutes.
They are all hybrid. They're at least all hybrid, and the board meeting is only on Zoom. Yeah.
In chat.
Sorry, you're muted. I can't hear you.
I just like to pretend I'm talking. I'm not saying anything. It's people on Zoom, they think I'm talking. Hello, people on Zoom. What I was saying is we elect up to 15 board positions. There's a minimum of 4, a maximum of 15. And right now, there are 7 names running. So there's plenty of room for additional board members.
How many were in the last term?
Last year? Yeah. So we've had
I think I'm max was 11.
I got 11?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then, yeah. So that was our fullest. We got the 14.
Yeah, and I will say too that if we totally understand things come up and happen, and like if you, for instance, were interested, and then maybe, I'm just, in February something big happens and like a lot of focus, like, I mean, you can sit down in that position, so it's not like you're locked in per se. I mean, obviously we'd love to keep people at least for that 1 year committal, but totally understand, like, hey, my aunt got sick, I need to go home, or whatever, like whatever that is. That's totally understandable. Yeah. Cool.
I'm Brennan, by the way.
Brennan?
RJ.
Yeah, great to meet you. You're what part of town?
I was born and raised here in Milton.
Cool.
Yeah, so my parents still live over the street. I run a foundation.
Oh, cool.
Very focused on the northeast part.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've been getting emails from pastors.
And spamming.
Wow, appreciate it.
That's awesome. That's great. That's awesome. All right. Give it like 1 more minute and then. We're gonna chat right now.
All right, everybody, I think we're going to get started here. Thank you for mingling and chatting through that. So I think what we'll end up starting with is we're going to go through our few minutes. We'll try and keep it to roughly a 2-minute piece here for everybody that is running to give a little bit about themselves. And then we will get into the voting piece. So for those eligible to vote, hopefully you all have a ballot and or a writing utensil, but if you don't, there's some extras up here. And then just from the write-in standpoint, just be sure we'll announce that when we get there for the write-in section, and just be mindful of who's the person's name. We'll be sure to reiterate so you can write it in, and then if somehow we get more, you can just go ahead and use the backside. And then once everybody's done, we'll collect them over there at the front. So I'm just gonna go down the list here, which is in alphabetical order, and then we'll get to the write-in piece. So again, we'll just do like a 2 minutes maximum, just introducing yourself and maybe you know, what you've done in the past or why you're interested in running. So first on the list, I think it was because the alphabetical is Bernadine. If you would mind come up and say a little thing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm currently the treasurer, so I deal with the money. But I also deal, as you can see, the blue bags for bottle drop and stuff. I take care of that and stuff. But being the treasurer also means I have to file the IRS 990, I have to file the Oregon State Department of Justice paperwork and the Oregon Secretary of State paperwork for us to be here and doing this and having our 501c3 status. I have lived in St. John's for 65 years. Yeah. I graduated from Roosevelt, attended Sit-in School. I happen to live in the same house that I grew up in because I inherited after my mom had passed some years ago. And so I've had, I've had 7 kids attend Roosevelt. And stuff. They went to Sit-in, they went to George once it became a middle school. Been heavily involved with the Little League here, that was Pure Park Little League for many years, especially when you've got 8 boys and 2 girls. Yeah. Dance school, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, PTAs. I was involved at both the local level, at the city level, and at the state level and stuff. I'm currently a member of the One More Time Around Again marching band that does the Rose Festival and stuff. And stuff. I enjoy doing that and playing Louie. Anyway, I also am involved with the Blue Star Mothers of Oregon. We are moms that have had or have kids in the military. And I currently have, my youngest son is deployed to Qatar and stuff. And we were hoping he'd be home by the end of this month, but situations over there, I don't think he'll be coming home by the end of the month. We've had 3 other sons in the military, 1 retired Army, 1 did Germany engineers, and then we lost 1 in Desert Storm. And stuff, heavily involved. I'm also with the USO, so I volunteer out at the airport with the USO. I'm also a Gold Star wife, which means my husband has passed and he was military. He was retired Air Force and stuff. And with the son passing, I am a Gold Star mother. I bowled in leagues at Interstate Lanes. I've been bowling since 1973. God, 50 years and stuff. So anyway, That's me, and that's my life.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Thanks,
Thank
Bernadette.
you very much. Wonderful.
The unofficial mayor of St. John's, maybe. That's what I'm saying. Awesome, thank you, Bernadette. Great, and then next up on the list is going to be Drew Grimmel, who is online. You want to maybe say something there?
Oh, yes. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, let me turn you up a little bit. Go
Alright.
for it.
All right, so I am the secretary, and I have been for, has it been a year now, Pat?
Yes.
Yes, so it's been a year now, and I did not know that I put my name in the running here because I was hoping somebody else would be able to take over. I enjoy what I've been doing here, but it's been busier for me in my personal life than I would have thought in the last 3 or 4 months. I just got a new job, and I've got other things going on. So I would like to join these meetings as much as I could, but if somebody would be willing to do the secretary work, that would be great. I can show you how to do everything. It's relatively simple. If nobody wants to run for that position, I can keep doing it in the meantime.
Yeah, and thanks, Drew. And just a reminder too, we're just running for board membership, and so then we'll discuss roles on Wednesday.
So yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's up to you.
I thought you were just calling on people who were running.
The determination is, do you want to run for the board again? And then isn't necessarily as secretary again, but so you can,
Oh,
you can
okay.
choose yes or no, but yeah.
So no, I don't think so. I've enjoyed my time here, but I think if there's other people that
Okay.
would like to step up and take a crack at it, they can go ahead.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Drew.
Yep.
So yeah, folks, if you just either abstain or just cross Drew off the list there, that'd be great. All right, next we have Juan. Say a few words here.
Hey everyone, my name is Juan Villosola. I am originally from Mexico. I moved to St. John's in the beginning of 2023, and I'm waiting for US work authorization, so I figured I should volunteer with the Neighborhood Association. And I've been doing that since the beginning of the year. I've been working on some projects like the Frog Ferry. We went to City Council. It was just, we can talk a little bit more if you want to contact me directly. And I'm also involved with the Mosquito Flea and some other organizations here in St. John's. And salsa matcha at the farmer's market with my wife. And I would be interested in running because I think that I want to follow up with the projects that I've been already doing, and also I just talked to Carol, and she thinks I'll be a good fit for her role since she's going to not be doing it anymore. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Juan.
Thank you very much. All right.
That's translation for us.
Oh, yes. He also is our resident translator, which is very, very helpful as well.
There's live
Yeah, and we do have live translated captions on Zoom as well from an accessibility standpoint that we've been looking at doing this year. So Juan has been amazing. That's my personal opinion. So down the list, weirdly enough, is me. So I'm next. Yes. Hey everybody. I'm sure you have seen me around. So my name is Patrick Tice. I've lived in St. John's since 2017. Lived in North Portland since 2011 when I moved here. I am very passionate, I think, into solve cleanups and community cleanups from that regard. I'm also passionate into transportation issues, like I said, so partnering not only with something like amazing like Frog Ferry, but kind of reimagining and looking at some opportunities around bolstering our business district, for example, with maybe some more walkability and some other sorts of events as we get into 2023 and beyond, 24 and beyond. Also very passionate, I think, in the charter reform and specifically around all of the things that are coming up for 24 elections. So just from a education standpoint, we have a new way of voting, we have a new way of electing folks, we have a new
massive new group of people we will be electing. So I think there's a lot of opportunities there that I'm really excited at kind of getting out the educational arm of things. And then from the transit piece too, really focused and passionate about kind of alternate ways of transportation, so not necessarily single occupied, single use vehicle. So that's everything from biking, rolling, walking, bus, transit, all sorts of those sorts of things. So those are big passions of mine. Just like the rest of us, I think we'll be discussing on Wednesday about roles and responsibilities, but personally, I definitely have a lot kind of going on in my personal life. So looking forward to running again, though. I'm really passionate about being on this board. To what capacity we'll definitely be discussing. So, but yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick. Thanks. I'm Paul Rippey. I think this will be my 4th time on the board if I have the pleasure of being elected. And the first 2 years I was secretary, and Drew thankfully stepped forward and took that over. But last year I ran the Safer Together project, which helped people in St. John's. We didn't do block parties ourselves, but we helped people do block parties. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, but for all of you who've been block party hosts, thank you. And it ain't over yet. And I want to keep doing block parties next year. And that's mostly why I want to be on the board next year, just so we have this little platform to keep doing this. And I also want to spread out to other parts of Portland, other neighborhood associations, because it seems to me that bringing neighbors together is a real good activity. It's like clean up, bringing neighbors together. This is some of the stuff that neighborhood associations should be doing. And I love that. And I've been really lucky to see a whole lot of streets and blocks in St. John's in this last year. And I understand my neighborhood a lot better because of that. I also, I'm a NET, which is, remember, the Neighborhood Emergency Team. And who are specially trained volunteers who have the training to help out during emergencies, catastrophes, whatever, earthquakes, fires, and so on. And who are also trained to know what they can't do so they don't become part of the problem. And then the other thing I do with my time, I am retired. The other thing I do with my time is work with the Portland Folk Music Society. And I'm distracted right now because I'm producing a big event that is this coming weekend with a couple hundred people from around the world all getting together on Zoom. So that's it. I mean, I love St. John's. It's a pleasure to serve it. One of the things I feel passionately about too is being more inclusive. And if you look at the present board members, if you look at the people in this room, we are mostly from this side of Fessenden, not exclusively, but mostly from this side of Fessenden. But yet, that's only half of St. John's, and I'll talk about that later on too. It's just efforts we've been making to reach out to, so that we can really be the whole neighborhood association, and not this half of St. John's Neighborhood Association.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, we got RJ.
Hey, folks.
Hey.
How we doing? RJ DeMello. I have been on the board for a little over a year now. I'm the current vice chair. I've really a fan and been active on the service side of things. I think this kind of organization maybe serves sort of 2 key purposes, and that's education and service. Education working both ways, bringing information to the public, but then also bringing the public's opinions, thoughts, and concerns back in the other direction, and then serving the community. And so, I've been really involved in organizing solve cleanups. I've organized a couple since being on the board. I was sort of the lead organizer on a dumpster day on Earth Day in April at Roosevelt High School, where we hauled away about 8 tons of trash, which was wonderful. And actually, there's another one coming up in November, being organized by a local nonprofit. So I look forward to informing you more about that. But I really love St. John's. I'm a really big proponent of just trying to leave anything better than how you found it, and that's why I'm here. Thanks.
Thanks, RJ. All right, and now we have Ryan. Dillard? Yeah. Yeah, great. Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Dillard. I am running to be a board member of the St. John's Neighborhood Association. I've lived in St. John's for about 4 years now on the other side of Fessenden. And yes, St. John's is my community and the place that I call home, and I am running in the hopes of increasing the visibility of our neighborhood's challenges with those in the positions of power to help make a positive change that benefits all members of our community. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, and then I'm going to get to the write-in section here now. And so it looks like we have somebody on Zoom that we can go ahead and kick over to give a little intro to yourself. So is it Jesse Emery?
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you great. Go for it.
Yeah, my name is Jesse Emery. I've been living in St. John's about 2 years, and my daughter goes to James John, and I really love the community and would like to find ways to improve it or get more involved. I have in the past taught at Sun School at James John, taught music there. I'm a music teacher for high school and a substitute teacher for Portland Public Schools. And I'm just really hoping to find ways to get more involved in St. John's.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you. All right, and then for those in the room, yeah, you could just go ahead and write Jesse in the write-in. And then I'm going to open it up here to anybody in the room that is interested after hearing our little speeches. We'll give it just a minute if anybody else is interested in throwing your hat in the ring. What up? You just stand in front of the computer there. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You're good. You're good.
All right. How's everybody doing? My name is Brennan Scarlett. Born and raised here in North Portland. I operate a nonprofit called the Big Yard Foundation here in the community. We focus on community empowerment of historically marginalized and disadvantaged communities through literacy, creativity, and physical wellness. I've went to school down in California. I've been working Houston, Miami, and kind of coming back and forth with the city. Now I'm, mostly here, and I'm really proud of my community, the city of Portland, and look forward to not only continuing the upward trajectory of our city and what the beautiful place that it can be, but also being involved in community and neighborhood associations like this to really be able to be a voice for not only the people that my community work is wanting to support and empower, but also the community at large. So yeah, thank you. Brennan, B-R-E-N-N-A-N. Last name, sorry.
Yeah, B-R-E-N-N-A-N Scarlet. Perfect. Thank you. Anybody else online or in the room?
No one on Zoom.
Cool. So what I think I'm going to do is,
We'll need to. I'm going to launch the poll on Zoom. But...
yeah, go ahead and launch that poll. But I'm just going to see if I can't type the names for the write-in real quick, just so we can see it up on the screen and be able to read that in an easy way.
Brennan, last name S-C-A-R-L-E-T-T.
So we have C-A-R-L-E-T-T, and then Jesse.
E-M-E-R-Y.
All right.
The poll on Zoom now.
Okay, perfect. Poll is up. I'm going to do this real quick if I can.
Bernadine.
Hopefully I spelled everybody's name right on there.
Yes.
Is that correct, Brendan? Yes. Okay, cool.
Our meeting was saying to count the votes, you need a board member and a general member.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I'm Kim Larson. This is my service dog in training, Emmy. You've probably seen us around. We walk quite a bit. We've been to the emergency meeting, or I have. It was a really good time. Highly recommend. I've lived in St. John's for about 5-6 years. Really a big fan of the Frog Ferry progress and stuff, and I'd like to help any way I can.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you very much. And if you could just help me spell your name.
Kim Larson. K.
Just phonetically.
Yep. Larson.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So then I think what we're going to need to do is amend the Zoom.
I would have to end the poll.
All right. So Zoom folks, I think we're going to have to redo this if that's okay. And then for everybody in the room, Kim's information is up here. Okay. All right. So let's keep going up the ballot here. And then for everybody in person, I will hold this over here.
We have spaces on the page for people who are finished writing the names, so we get extra.
Oh, it's up right now? Oh, his is up. Yeah, I'll have to get him to do it.
You can go, yeah, here, I'll walk around. Thank you.
All right. Oh.
No hanging chance here, folks.
Too soon. I really like it.
Yes, we can go for as many as you like.
To hear what
Yes.
Okay. So, what's the
Oh, that's just an independent art. Oh, yeah. Mary, would you help me count the ballots?
All right, folks online, just very quickly, we're counting the ballots here. We need one board member and one general member. We will count and then make a recording and then move on with the meeting. 7:51 will try and be done in less than 4 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, this is. So you can kind of get forward. I think you guys need to. Maybe a little bit over here. Let's get some Jeopardy music going here. Cool. Well, while we are doing that, we'll go ahead and get through the rest of the meeting here. So thanks everybody for your patience. Yeah, appreciate you sticking with us here. I know that can go kind of long. So the next piece up for new business before we get into the board updates is our community corner. And so for folks that may not be as familiar, this is an opportunity for anybody here in the room or online to either voice a concern or comment or just something that you would like to bring to the attention of either the board or the rest of the public that is here in the room or virtually. It could be just anything that you were thinking or had any thoughts on. So we'll give it about 10 minutes here. And then if you're in person, if you just wouldn't mind raising your hand, and then same online, and then we'll call on you to go ahead. So community corner, everybody here would like to speak, you know. Yes. Would you be able to come up here for, is that possible, just for the folks online? Thanks. We just have a hard time hearing online. If you feel comfortable enough speaking, your voice carrying, or just if we can just get somewhat close to the computer.
I'm Jennifer. I've lived in Portland for 7 years.
She's gonna have to use the microphone. They're not gonna hear her.
Okay, then yeah, come on over here then if that's okay. Sorry. It's a friendly mic. Not scary, not scary.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. My name's Jennifer. I've lived in Portland for 7 years and in St. John for the last 2 years, and I love it. I walk with my dog a ton and cycle and you know, love to walk to the grocery store, all that. My concern, and maybe this is me becoming an old lady, I feel like I don't know who put the speed bumps in. I think that was great, but I feel like there's a ton of speeding. And I called the non-emergency number for the police department and spoke to them, and they asked me if it was ADA related, with the Disabilities Act, and I said I felt like it was, because there's several times where I'm crossing to go toward Roosevelt High School. I'm in the, it's a marked crosswalk, and my dog and I have to help Scylla cross because someone is coming so fast, and that's on Smith Street. And I've also stopped to help elderly people across and people who are handicapped, because I don't know if they're gonna get taken out by something, and I don't know what that is, and I'm not looking to get people in trouble or arrested. I don't know if we need more police presence or just speed radar signs, maybe to remind people what the speed limit is. I don't know. That's just something that I would like to see, so I would feel safer walking in the community. What's that?
Or like photo tickets?
Yeah, anything would be great. I'd love to know who to talk to.
Yeah.
If there's anything I can do to help.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks.
Thank you. I can speak to that just briefly, but I think the right folks would be PBOT are our folks. So, and I know for those that have been kind of following along, there's been a big push for the speed bumps throughout the neighborhood. So Smith, and then a lot around Roosevelt. I live right over there too. Ida and a lot of those surrounding streets. And then I think too, there's some traffic mitigation or whatever they call it happening here, right over by the farmer's market and stuff to slow people down. But I think that's a really good and fair piece of feedback. So we have great contact with PBOT, especially around North Portland and Motion. So there's going to be a lot more coming and happening around that. But yeah, absolutely. I think that should be a piece of feedback. And so what I would say is, yeah, non-emergency, I think is a good place. We have Austin here on the team that has been working through that side from like a enforcement standpoint. I think non-emergency would be the right place to be. Good.
Yeah, I was gonna actually speak about that.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll tease it now. We'll get Austin up here in just a sec. But yeah, non-emergency is a good one. And then I think too, PBOT has some kind of community commentary on their website or some sort of feedback, either an email or whatnot. I would recommend sending something in. I know sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm just sending it in for no reason, no one's reading it. But from everything that I've heard, honestly, like people read that. And the more, yeah. North Portland, Michigan. Yeah. Yes.
Just about, so I, just like a quick follow-up to that. If, so yeah, you could do it yourself and like go on their website. But I've known that if you wanted to, for us to, I guess, like give more power to the letter or whatever, you could draft a letter and then we can review it and then we can say like, yes, SJNA approves this, and maybe like that gets more attention.
Well, they said here, they said, whoever I called, and they said, you can also have the same community advocation. I thought that sounds like what you're saying.
Yeah, so
there's other people that have the same feeling.
for example, me, like I agree with that. Like I don't even drive, and I understand that like speed is dangerous. But if you could like write a letter and you want us to like check it, your concerns, we can check it. If we like feel like the community approves of it, we'll like stamp it with like SJNA, whatever, and then send it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, and then for those too, if you want to write down the email, it's just info@stjohnspdx.org, all one word, is the main inbox. Or you can just look at our website and find the contact information there. But yeah, thank you.
We got a question here.
Oh, we have someone on Zoom. Matthew, were you able to unmute yourself?
I did not have a question. I had another community corner thing. So I'll let you finish that and I can talk about mine.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, are we okay? Matthew Duenas, St. John's community member, project manager for the St. John's Village. I'm also a community design advocate for the Multnomah County Library renovation project. There will be more information coming out about that, but for folks that are looking to have some say in what that looks like, I will drop my email in the chat, and hopefully Patrick and the rest of the board can distribute that to folks. Make sure you get that out to them. We really just had our first meeting with Convergence and with Bora Design. So literally we're just starting out this process. But if I get your emails for those that look to have some input, I can make sure that one of the CDAs, one of the community design advocates, gets in touch with you. So I will post my my email in the chat, and If you are interested in that Multnomah County Library renovation, please send me your name and your email and some good times to contact you. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll write down your email on a piece of paper if you guys want to take a picture of it or write it down on your way out. We'll get that there for you. Okay. Any other, we're at 8:02 here. I think we have time for maybe one more. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's on the works already.
Yeah.
We going in a city, it's not going very fast, okay? It's a city, it goes so fast if you guys not watching, is if we put so many stops and so many lights, people's worrying more because it's not too late to the school, go late to the work, go late to many stops. So we need, what we need to do, okay, is with more education. I have 2 years of living in St. John's. Okay? I love this country. Because when I come in here, all fields over there, everybody's nice over here, everybody running, everybody respect to everybody. And now everybody happy with races. So, what we need to do is probably more education for community. We need to think it how, not put so many stuff, so many lights. That's not education. My wife's somebody killing for running. So fast, my son is here. See? So that's not the solution.
I have tried. I go, their mother is waiting in the front, and I tried asking them to slow down. I don't do it anymore because they are waiting.
Yeah, so what I told one day, I think for what solution is high education for community. Yes, but we can put it, so many stuff, we can put it, how many of you guys, we young guys, probably have like driving faster or something? No? Do you have it? No? Can't hear people in the audience. Can't hear. You know what I learned? Last night. I don't like to have pictures, I don't like to have pictures.
Yeah.
That's the way I learned.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I think that's the one best solution is to no cameras or lights in what knows, no. Flashing. Because you don't want to pay expensive insurance. We don't have money to pay big tickets. I think it's a solution to put so many stops. Lights. Flashlights.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. I think there's definitely.
So many shooting guys to be here in the community.
Yeah.
I live in a new park. We have so many shooting guys.
Yeah.
Every night, just you hear the guns. We don't have that one before. We don't have that one. You call like you say, you call 911, never come, never show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah, sorry for the folks on Zoom there that we're just talking about just solutions potentially for driving and then also with shootings. And yeah, I mean, Austin was, don't want to speak for him, but on the safety livability for last year. And, we're hearing that citywide, right? There's a shortfall of police officers. Yeah. Yeah.
Microphone.
Yeah. All right. So sorry, just to keep things moving along, since we do have some pieces to cover. Did you have one thing to? Yeah, just very briefly. Yeah, come on up, and then we'll get through into the board updates. Here you go. Thank you.
Hi guys, just real quick. My name's Jack. I've lived in North Portland since I got out of the Navy in 2000.
I've had kids go through Chief Joe Ockley Green and then Chief Joe Ockley Green when they tried that, and then Roosevelt. I was an after-school son arts and science teacher. I currently in my free time, I publish Portland's only horror fanzine. I also am a volunteer radio DJ at X-Ray FM across from Jefferson over there at the Falcon Arms. And I'm one of 3 new members of the St. John's Bachelors Club, which has been there since 1909 when that was first founded, and been in that building there, sharing the parking lot with the church across the street for the farmer's market. Been there, I think, since the 40s. And I'm here just to kind of get in touch. And so this is my first meeting here. Don't really have the free time to be a board member or volunteer, but I definitely want to make that connection because the Bachelors Club, it's called that because that was when it was founded in 1909. Bachelors for More were coming back, but it's for decades and decades, it's been a family and community focused group. Everyone's married there. It is a fraternal order, but we're now focusing a new generation of doing community outreach and community events. Our first one, you might have seen these around a little bit. We're doing a little Halloween party. It is the busiest night of the month, we know that. But if you're 21 or over in the area, it is put on by the Bachelors Club. And then we're also gonna be branching out into doing other events throughout the new calendar year as it goes on. So I just kind of want to introduce myself. I live on Oswego, next to the Mad Max drag race that is Columbia. And I am very active in this neighborhood, and I have been, thank you for the posts you've made on Instagram. I am now trying to start the Bachelor Club's just presence on Instagram currently. We're just trying to bring it into the modern age, fighting back from the pandemic, so membership drives and whatnot that we're doing locally. But I just want to put it out there that the Bachelors Club is starting fresh and going to be doing a lot of more community events in this new year. So
Very
thank
cool.
you.
Thank you very much.
I'll leave a few of these up front.
Yeah, please go ahead and put it up there. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you, thank you. And like I said, we'll keep these, I know we have some new faces here, we'll try and keep the community corner going as we go. I think it's a really great opportunity for folks to speak and not have us just soapbox up here.
We can just go right into the board updates and we can announce the elections.
Yeah, so right now we're going to just go straight into the board updates here. So I'm done talking and I'm going to hand it over to RJ from a vice chair standpoint. And then the only piece of housekeeping we have Matthew's email here for the library renovations. If you want more information, I'll leave it over there, but hand it over to RJ.
Hello again. All right. I'll keep it quick. I kind of alluded to it earlier, upcoming stuff. So there's the St. John's Sustainability Coalition, who were partners in planning the Earth Day cleanup in April. They are currently planning a dumpster day event at St. John's Church for November 18th, so another chance to get rid of bulky waste, other items, large recycling items, you know, like last time I'm sure there'll be the ability to take things like paint. So keep your eyes out for that November 18th. That's also same day as the farmers market is having a fall event that day. So farmers market will be there. There'll be the dumpster day. There'll be sort of a big day of activity. There'll also be basically leaf cleanup going on for that. So that's going to be an opportunity to clean leaves, but also to bring in drop leaves. So that was something we heard from the community last year. The city does a leaf cleanup. That actually is coming this year on December 12th, so that'll be about a month later. But there's only a certain amount of streets they do. There's some, there's an equation. There's we can only afford to do X percent of streets, and so they look at which ones have the most tree cover, and that's the 30% that they sweep in the neighborhood. So there will be that going on in December, but there's a lot that won't be swept up then, and this is trying to fill in some of that gap as well, to make sure that we have safe streets out there as we're walking around. And we all know last year, there was a slippery mess out there for a while. So it hurt, and this is an attempt towards that. We'll keep our eye on it as well as time goes on, and if we need to get out there and do some special one-off things, you'll be seeing us posted for volunteers. So I hope to see you out there. That's it for me. Yeah. Any questions? Cool. All right. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. So we'll get treasurer here, and in the meantime, for those that have the Excel, either the printout or handy, that's what we'll go through now. And as we get Bernadine up here, I'm going to pull up the Excel that she emailed me here to be able to share here. Here we go. Alrighty. Or well, let me do this here. All right, Bernadine, come on over. Do you want to come over and do your do the presentation here?
We've got to get the like Price is Right music and have everybody come on down to the microphone.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Oh, perfect. You got it there.
Okay. For our treasurer's report, this is from September 10th to October 15th. Our beginning balance of our general checking account was $10,639.74. We had income from bottle drop, $450. Total income, $450. Our expenses was MailChimp for our web services for the email, $33.57. That's also our total expenses. Our ending balance, $11,056.17. Restricted accounts out of that are $3,085.60 for the Metro grant that we received that deals with the cleanups and stuff. We also have restricted our Safer Together grant that we got from the city, and that's $5,789.73. We also still have in our Day of the Child grant that we had gotten and the event that we did, $65.65. And that is because George Middle School has still not cashed their check. And I'm waiting, this is the fifth, today was my fifth visit to them, and not an administrator was around at all, and all the secretary could do is take my name and phone number. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. So that leaves us unrestricted funds of $2,115.19. Then for our art fund, which is a restricted account, we have for the same date, beginning balance of $100.04, and our ending balance as of last night was $100.04. Now to our bottle drop account, same date range. We started out with a beginning balance of $230.44. We had various number of bags dropped for $43.56. So we have a total balance of $274. Any questions from anybody on those?
If you're interested, we do have some bags over here. That is one way that we
got
do fundraise.
bags, and I'm gonna be pushing for the fact that we have signed up for the Bottle Drop Holiday Give Program. And what they do is from November 15th through December 2nd, bags that are dropped, the blue bags with the St. John's Neighborhood Association tags on it, they're gonna match 20% up to $3,000 per fundraiser. And they have $65,000 total that's being done and stuff. So that gives us extra money. We got extra money last year. They will give us the extra money by December 30th. So we don't have to wait long for that. So please take bags. And if you need to save them and you don't fill them right now, that's fine. Save them, and after November 15th, drop them off, and we're gonna get more money.
Yeah. Cool. Totally.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, we'll chat about the social post and see if we can help boost us. That'd be great. Was there another question? No. And then thank you, Bernadine. And then for those are just regular recyclables, and they can drop off at the Safeway door on the the west side by the post office, or Delta Park if you want to go there. Okay. Next we have secretary. I don't know, Drew, is there anything on your side here?
No, nothing new to report.
Great. Okay. Safety and livability. Austin, can you come on over?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, so like we were talking about a little while ago, last month, it was brought up that street racing was a large concern that you all had. So I went ahead and brought that to the various meetings I go to throughout the month, and I talked with the Portland police representative at the last PMO meeting I went to. And she said that currently there are no planned missions to combat street racing. They do try to run them during the summer when the weather's nicer, but currently there's no planned missions in that regard. She did mention that if people are seeing street racing, that you should call 311, that you should make a report of it, because just this is a theme here. The city really responds to data. That is how they know where to focus their resources. And also, we should all just make it known to the people running next year that racing is a large concern of ours and the livability of walking our neighborhood. And so if that's a concern, then that's something you should share. And as far as, I'm not going to be on the board this next year, but something that whoever's replacing me can do is bring, like, if we know the intersection, if there was a particularly bad intersection, then I can go back and say because at the PMO meetings, it's a bunch of city representatives, I can say, hey, at this intersection, we're seeing a lot of things going on. And so that's coming directly from SJNA, kind of bringing your guys' concerns to the city, which can kind of be like, kind of like another way to just kind of add more weight to the issue. And also, another great resource for those of you who haven't been to one of our meetings is pdxreporter.org, is a way to report things like trash, abandoned cars, graffiti, various things, again, because all that goes into the city's data collection, and that it makes them look good when they address problems. And so the more we send their way, the more that they know that there's an issue. And I'll just speak real quick to the police. I know police was brought up. For those who haven't been to our meetings, I know I say this a lot, but the police are staffed at half of what their minimum requirements are. So that means anyone on duty is oftentimes going from one 911 call to the next. And again, there's not much we can do about that other than letting the city know that that's a concern we have, that we want more funding going there. There is a bottleneck right now with training police officers, because they have to go to a state academy. And so like every officer in the state has to go through the academy. So that has put, especially during the pandemic, that put a lot of training, it kind of delayed training. And so, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they're just operating at half of what they need for any shift. And that's not necessarily an excuse. I'm not making an excuse for them. I'm just letting you know that it's not necessarily that they don't want to answer 911 calls. It's that there's just not a lot of officers. And they did just reinstate a few officers on the traffic division. Mostly it's for, responding to, reckless driving, whatnot. So as far as that goes, I'll just go ahead and ask if you all had any questions that I could either bring to PMO or our PSAC meetings and let the city or our police representatives know any concerns.
What are those meetings? Like, what does the thing stand for?
Yeah, I can never. So the Northeast Public Safety Action Committee is one that's attended by multiple neighborhood associations and representatives from the Portland Police. So I go to that once a month. And then the PMO, I can't remember what that acronym stands for. Sorry, it's a city. It's a city. Yeah, public environmental management.
Portland Environmental Management Offices.
Thank you. Is that Tanya?
Yeah, that's Tanya.
Yeah, so they have different representatives from different city functions, like addressing trash and things like that. And so I can bring concerns back to them as well. So,
Was there a question?
Is there any questions? Yeah. So from what I've heard, and obviously this changes based on availability and weather and whatnot, but like, I think it's supposed to be like, for things like trash and whatnot, they try to respond, as soon as they can, but I know that it can be up to a few days, I wanna say.
And there's dashboards.
Yes, that's right. There is a dashboard. You can actually see like where things have been reported and when. So
you can see a map of St. John's, like, oh, there's like 10 reports of a pothole right here, or whatever. You can see that on the map.
With the pdx.org, it's just getting an account, and it's really easy to continually put in whatever it is that's going on, and that's how they can start to see a pattern of something that's happening in one place. But if we don't report, nobody knows. And we can only do as much as we can. So use that site. You just set up an account. Once you set up an account, and it's nothing other than your email. You just go in and you say, this is what's happening on this corner, this is what's happening here. And that's where they start to collect the same data over and over again. They go, you have a problem here.
was there anything online?
Nothing coming through on the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're at 8:25 here, I think, if that's okay. We're gonna keep things moving along. But yeah, we'll be sure to, I think, planning on backfilling Austin here, as well as he's got some other opportunities for him that will be taking us some time. So we'll go round this out here. We'll finish things up. We have land use here. I'm acting land use chair as well, if you all don't know that. Nothing major, I think, throughout the month. The Your Inn Tavern is working on updating their patio. And there was an appeal so it sounds like their updates were approved by the city, and then a neighbor appealed from noise complaint standpoint, neighboring person around that area. So for those interested, there is an appeal hearing on Monday, November 6th at 1:30 p.m. If this impacts you, I'll leave the paperwork on the way out, but otherwise more just informing you on that. And then I think one other piece here from the Planning and Sustainability Office, there's a housing regulatory relief project, which includes some temporary waivers to reduce select zoning code standards as more permanent amendments that clarify the regulations are being done. This is also a hearing that is happening on Monday, October 23rd. I'll leave this over there as well if anybody feels passionately about either of those, but those were the major pieces from a land use standpoint.
Outreach, I don't know if there's anything from
No,
that side of things.
have about 1.3 million followers on Instagram and
Yeah.
3.4 on Facebook.
1.3 million. Yeah, so.
I mean, that,
Yeah, just-
1.3.
Give me a heart attack for a second there.
1,000.
We'll shoot for 2 million next year, folks.
Yeah.
We'll get there. All right. Yeah. But Carol's been amazing, and she has some other things coming up, but I just wanted to extend a thank you to Carol for all the work over the last year. And then at large, I think I'm going to hand it over to Paul real quick from an at-large standpoint, and then we'll get Juan and we'll get you out of here.
Okay. I appreciate the real quick, but I actually have 3 things I need to talk about, so I'm sorry about that. One is Safer Together. RJ just hosted the 27th block party. Yes, 27th block party. We have one more scheduled on Halloween, which will be 28. When we applied for this grant, we said we would do about 30. Now the about was a little hedge, like, well, we might not do 30. So, but let's do 30. And we have one more that's a possibility. So I'm gonna call that, I'd still would like to have, I'd actually like to do more than 30. So if you have any interest, please talk to me, because I've been thinking a lot about the weather. We're Portlanders, we're not gonna let rain stop us. There are lots of things we can do. And we had one block party in the rain. People were together under the tent. It was delightful. It was actually one of my favorite block parties because everybody just kind of shoulder to shoulder. It was great. So don't let the rain scare you. If you want to do a block party, please see me. And we are going to do a celebration sometime in November, December. I just haven't gotten around to setting a date for that, but we're going to do a celebration and invite all the hosts, the nets, the board, and other people, because I would like this to get some traction and become a permanent fixture in not just St. John, but in Portland. That's Safer Together. The second thing is, Juan and I went out to the Pier Park Apartments on the 5th. We had sort of saturated the apartments. Now, if you don't know this apartment complex, LPDO, you should be up here with me. I don't want to talk for you, but anyway, we passed out 230 flyers, and 4 people came to a meeting, which was great. Alpedio was one of them, and I certainly appreciated your presence. And I am so happy to see you here with your son, so welcome you guys. And can you just talk a little bit about the things we talked about and what you all had to say? I don't want to talk for you. Do you mind?
What I explained to you guys is the problem we have over there is we have a really guys in the night. Really people, it's very nice. If you are, if you forget size, we have that's one of the big problems we have. Every weekend, really people. The other point that we have we see in our community is if we don't have any sports and prison there, or any good something for our kids, he can recreation, you can go, because our kids only have 3 options to go over there. It's only one store, the name is Cheryl. That's it. Like we have another stores, is selling marijuana. And when you choosing, start selling beers, cigarettes, and one marijuana. So for kids don't have so many choices. We want to know is if people put more attention to that place, try to make more business or something, so we can have a cafeteria, so we can have something, we can go with the community, That's what we want.
Thank you.
The other problem we have, like today, is we have an overspeed.
Yes. Yeah, because, thank you very much. And I mean, Columbia Boulevard makes Smith Street look like a little walkway. You know what I mean?
We have the cameras over there, but we explain to you guys, everyone respect those cameras. When I see the people suspect it's only the flashing lights.
Okay.
That's the only light.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I was so glad for the reception we had there. And it was an eye opener for me. I mean, one of the things that Rocky, who was a woman, that's not her real name, but.
Thank you to you guys to go over there and replace the attention, put the eyes in that side, because we don't know we have any association over here.
Yeah, I know. It was just like this sense of isolation. And Rocky said she'd come down to Lombard Street and she saw the St. John's Review, and she said, "Why can't we see the St. John's Review?"
I'm sorry, my name is Cecilia Canales. I have 2 years over here. So some of you guys.
Unfortunately.
What's unfortunate?
Unfortunately.
My wife is also died.
What he means is somebody killed my mom. It was 2021. Because the guy was trying to reckless me in the night. Yeah, we hear it. And what's important, they don't give you a ticket.
Yeah, the police don't do nothing. That's
Yeah.
what I told him.
Okay.
Every time we call the cops, never show.
Yeah.
I think that's the point for everybody, because you guys call 911, call the cops, never show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to do something.
So thank you very much. And I'm committed to having this association be a voice for y'all, for you guys. And I think I don't know exactly how to do that. I think we can hold some meetings at your end of town. We don't always need to make you come over to here to meet. We can go over there, so it's easier for like people where you live to come to meetings. That's one thing to do. But I mean, you have issues that are very different than like leaves on the street. I mean, we have leaves on the street. Okay, big deal. But I mean, you all have some real issues, and I think we need to just change, just find a way to make.
Now I represent, I like to help in my community. Now I represent Pitt Park Community Gardens too.
Yeah.
I'm the president of the.
Alpedia, thank you very much, and you are always welcome here, and we'll find a way to make you feel at home. Maybe by coming over there to meet. Then we'll meet at your home, and then there'll be a lot. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I know we're pressed for time, and I actually would like to have the association agree. I'm just changing this. I'm moving on here. I'd like to have the association sign 2 letters, if we could do it now. I don't know the parliamentarian. What's the best way to do this? Do you know? I mean, listen. But there's 2 letters that have to do with the CEI hub. The CEI hub being the critical energy facility, the 400 tanks full of things which explode, burn, or poison that are right across the river. And okay, well, one is a letter that we've been invited to sign. Now, I could read this whole letter. Should I read it? Do we have time? Yes, no? Okay, it's a letter look, this letter has been signed by Cathedral Park Neighborhood Association, Crestwood Neighborhood Association, Irvington, Kenton, Linton, Maplewood. Okay, it's been signed by like 14 neighborhood associations. We have not signed it because we haven't voted on it. It's asking, it's to all the big shots, Governor Kotek, City Council, and so on. And it's just saying we'd like more transparency and more accountability from the oil companies and from Zenith Energy. I mean, I've read this letter 5 times. I would sign this at the drop of a hat. I don't know, I mean, I can read the whole thing, but I don't think there's anything controversial in it. And if we can just take a stand with the other neighborhood associations requesting, I think that the government kind of do its job with something that could kill us all. I'm absolutely serious about this. As they say, we're all just one earthquake, one train derailment, or one human error away from tragedy. And I think that is probably true. So I move we sign this letter.
I think I need to ask if there is a motion.
Oh, good. Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
So, yeah, I know it's a bit vague, but yeah, is there a motion to approve or to sign the letter here? So, is that a motion, Austin?
Yes.
Okay, Austin motions, do we have a second? Okay, Nelly a second.
Second, Jack.
And then we need a simple majority here, so everybody on Zoom, if you can use your
I'm gonna
hand
launch a poll for them.
Oh, okay, sorry, there's a poll coming for Zoom, and then everybody in the room, if you want to vote to endorse this, please raise your hand. Okay, we have 19 in the room, and then
7 on Zoom,
7 on
8
Zoom.
on Zoom.
Okay. All unanimous, okay. So that's simple majority, I think that's fine, so that'll pass.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay. And then another letter here. We were asked to sign a letter from a group of people that are trying to organize a festival that has to do with the CEI hub that would take place on June 1st or July 1st, I forget, July 1st, 2024 in Cathedral Park. And they were going to call, I forget what they were going to call it, but they decided to call it Portland's Resilient Together Festival. And I love the Resilient Together because that echoes safer together. And it's put forward by a woman whose name just slipped my mind. Oh, darn it.
Come on.
Julia, yes. Anyway, she's got a lot of credit. She's done a lot of stuff in her life, and she is an environmental activist. And so I drafted a letter for us to sign that said, this talks about what St. John's is. And then I say, for these reasons, we're committed to helping our neighbors in St. John's become better prepared for disasters. We've sponsored 26 block parties in St. John's, each with a disaster resilience theme, and we have close ties within that team here and share their concerns about threats to our community. For these reasons, we applaud the work you are doing to organize Portland's Resilient Together Festival, and we commit ourselves to supporting it actively. We will publicize it in our meetings and newsletter and on our website and social media, and we'll be happy to put out a call for volunteers when the time is right. We also invite you to use our name and logo in publicizing the event, provided that we have a chance to review how it is being used first as an escape hatch. We appreciate your efforts. So I hope we can sign this too. Now this may be, she wanted this in time for a grant application, and we weren't able to get it together for that. But I still think this would be a useful letter for her.
Is it a music festival or a?
It will be, it'll be all sorts of stuff. There will be tables, but there will be music. Yeah.
Okay.
And Cathedral Park has endorsed it, yeah. And of course, Linton, which is right in the bullseye, has endorsed it.
So I'll ask, do we have a motion to approve this letter in support of the concert? So we have Austin as motion. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, 1 second. All in favor, RJ, if you can run a new poll for me.
Polls in the Zoom.
Polls for Zoom. All in favor, raise your hand here, please. Okay, that's simple majority. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
I'm going to be super brief. I was going to talk about what Paul just talked about, but like it's been solved, so I should just skip that. And the other update I had is about the frog ferry. We met with city council. Basically, Commissioner Maps made up 3 excuses why he was not going to put us on the RTP constrained project list, which one was that there was a limited number of projects that could go on the RTP constrained project list, but I think that's not the case. And also that Vancouver didn't want it, but we're not talking about Vancouver, we just wanted to do a pilot project from Cathedral Park to River Place downtown. And the last one was that Frogferry requested TriMet to withdraw bus lines, which was like absolutely not the case. Like that is the opposite of what we want. We want more buses with more frequency, and that is going to help both systems just do better, less cars on the road. And if you all want to look at the video of how that went, you can just email me. My email's on the SJNA website, and I'll send it to you. And yeah, really?
Put it on Facebook.
Oh, and on the Facebook as well. And I'm just also, I want to say that like I'm really happy that everyone that showed up today is here, because I believe that the more people come to the meetings and believe in us, is the more power we have to change things.
Thanks, Juan.
Totally agree with that, definitely. All right, I think that's it for the board members, unless I'm missing anything. And then I don't know, we usually kick it over to Tanya for a quick booster update, if that's okay, if you could just keep it brief for us.
Yes, I know. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff for the community coming up in November and December. So the Halloween trick or treat is October 28th from 11 to 1. The ugly sweater, so we're having ugly sweater events for November and December from the 6th to the to January 1. All of the businesses are decorating the windows in the ugly sweater theme, so you can stroll down Lombard and see all the festive ugly sweaters. We're doing the ugly sweater photo contest. If you guys remember those plywood ugly sweaters, we have over 20 of them that will be into business windows, and they will be decorated, and there's a photo contest with that. There's a mini ugly sweater scavenger hunt that Weird Sisters is knitting 25 little mini sweaters we'll put in business windows, and you can do a scavenger hunt and win a prize. All of these you guys are winning prizes for if you participate. The ugly sweater tree lighting is on Friday, November 17th from 5 to 7. The ugly sweater celebration and shopping event is November 25th from 11 to 2. There's going to be bands and crafts and giveaways and more raffle baskets going on, traveling carolers up and down the street. It's going to be a huge blast. And then the ugly sweater bar crawl on December 9th from 6 to 11 with lots of stuff happening there. So make sure to check out our website, our stjohnsboosters.org/events, and all of the information will be on there, and we'll start posting on our Instagram about all the ugly sweater events on November 1.
Awesome. Sounds fun. Thank you, Tanya.
Thanks, Tanya.
Good work. And then I don't know if we have SJCO on.
I don't
Mike,
think so.
Any representative from SJCO?
I didn't see him there.
Speak now, forever hold your peace. All right, I think we're good. Last thing, I think we'll just announce the election results, and then we'll get everybody out of here.
You're all elected. Congrats.
Great. Easy. All right.
Thank you, everybody, and thanks for showing up. Really appreciate it. Love you guys. Love St. John's. Thanks for everybody.